The Elden Ring DLC announcement is here, and speculation is swirling. Are we looking at Malenia's brother? What's going on with the Erdtree? I do not have tons of lore information to make speculations. Feel free to leave comments below or make sure you're here for the live chat. I'm going to put everything at the front of the video. The 5 things I want to see in the Elden Ring DLC. Now, some of these you're going to disagree with, especially if you're a longtime FromSoft fan, but these are things that would bring me back to the game. These are things that I've wanted to see for a very, very long time. One of the primary reasons I want them is I really loved this game. I loved the first half. I loved the open world, and a lot of what I'm going to put in this is just stuff that's rooted in that, okay? If you missed the announcement, they posted an image on Twitter. It's sort of the image in my thumbnail. There's a big the Erdtree's like way back in the background, and then there's somebody writing on a mount right in sort of the front of the image, and people are speculating who that is. People are saying it's Mikola, or however you're supposed to say that name, Malenia's brother. That might be, but then it looks like a woman, so we're not really sure. When they tweeted, they said, "Rise, Tarnished, and let's walk a new path together." An upcoming expansion, Shadow of the Erdtree, is currently in development. We hope you look forward to new adventures in the lands between. Now, it's interesting that they didn't really announce the expansion as like, hey, it's coming. They announced that it's in development. They're also not referring to this as DLC. They're referring to this as an expansion. So I thought it would be fun to walk through the 5 things that I want. I'd love to see what you guys think of each of these. I'll probably end up debating some of these with chat. One of them is related to the fact that apparently Miyazaki is taking inspiration from Escape from Tarkov, and that may end up in the game at some point, or maybe end up in this expansion. We don't know. That's related to one of my points. And I did have pros and cons. I had good things and bad things to say about the game when I played it. Largely, I loved the first half. I loved the open world. I felt the second half of the game kind of fell down the stairs a little bit. A lot of people agree with me. A lot of people disagree with me. There's no real consensus there. And I actually doubt some of the negative things that I would like to see addressed. I don't think those are going to be addressed in an expansion, but I do think there could be some things done with the stuff that I'm going to outline. So, the top 5 things that I want from an Elden Ring DLC. Number 1, a randomizer. And I know people are going to say, are you kidding me? A randomizer? There's already a mod for that on PC. Why would they need to do a randomizer? I understand that you can go to PC and get this, and many people are going to point me in that direction. But I think the fact that it exists on PC and people like to use it, it actually adds some ground to it not just being possible, but the fact that people want it. I think the open world aspect of Elden Ring is something that I wish I could bottle and experience for the first time on a yearly basis. I would probably do an annual playthrough of the game if I could just have a fresh experience in the open world. I understand why they went with static loot locations, static enemy and boss locations in the dungeons and across the open world. I totally get that. I understand why they did that, but I would love to have all that randomized. Now, I do know there are certain things you couldn't necessarily randomize. If you wanted to still have some semblance of a story, you'd have to kind of maybe keep bosses in the same location, especially like mainstay bosses. But I'm dying to have the whole world sort of shaken up and shuffled like a deck of cards so that I could experience a random seed world or, you know, a very different world. Now, if you're something that would be really fun, that if they could do this, is you could create seed codes. Like if you're playing through the game and you're having a really good time and you're saying, oh man, my playthrough has been a blast, there's some really cool things that happened, you could give that seed code to somebody else, they could punch it in, and they could have a very similar experience where certain things would be in certain locations. But I'm not going to belabor the point about a randomizer. I know this is a long shot. It's probably unlikely. I'll probably never get this, but I would absolutely love that. I think the open world experience in Elden Ring is unmatched in virtually any other game. Breath of the Wild came close, and Tears of the Kingdom may try to iterate on the open world formula, but I think that would be absolutely phenomenal to be able to experience all of that one more time fresh. Like maybe we can do an Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I can erase those memories from my brain. So that's number one. Number two is kind of related to number one. I am not alone in this. This is one that I think I'll get some agreement from the FromSoft boys on. I would love boss rush. Number two, some type of a boss rush. I think some of the boss fights in this are absolutely phenomenal. They're stunning. They're enjoyable. I would love to re-experience those. I think this is one where many people who have played through the game numerous times would likely say, hey, that actually sounds really dope. I would play that. I know people are going to maybe point to like speedrun guides and say, hey, there's ways to get to the bosses rather quickly, but the open world of Elden Ring can create a grating effect on your extra playthroughs given the size and the scope and the repetition. That's one of the reasons I want a randomizer. But on the other side of the coin, it would just be nice to be able to play the bosses. I think some of the bosses are exceptional, even if it was just a dungeon rush. A dungeon rush would be good as well. Some type of a way to get into the more formulaic areas so that we don't always have to deal with the open world. Many people did not give this game as much New Game Plus attention because of the open world. I know people that really loved the New Game Plus experiences in the other FromSoft games, but whenever they came to Elden Ring, they found that to be sort of a exhausting experience because of the size and the scope of the game. So both a randomizer and a boss rush option, I think, would give a wide array of players just a fresh way to experience some of the best parts of Elden Ring. And again, I know these are probably unlikely. I probably won't get them, but if you're going to update the game, if you're going to do a big expansion, I think these could be really good. Number three, now this is one that we're probably going to get to some degree, but I don't know how expansive this will be. Number three, update the map and the world. Now, I know this might be a given in some people's minds, but to others, this might be like burning the sacred texts. You can't mess with the open world. It's all set. Everything's as it should be. Everything's in the right place, right? And people wouldn't want to see it change dramatically. But it would be nice to have the world and the map updated to some extent. I originally made predictions that this game could do amazing things with New Game Plus. You could completely change the map, enemy locations, completely change bosses after we sort of complete the story and become an Elden Lord. That obviously didn't come to fruition. Those were predictions I made prior to playing the game. Now, after I played it and experienced it, I said, listen, this map is too big. The game is too large. There's no way they'll be able to do that. It just, I thought, oh, they could even maybe do like a live service game where, you know, everything kind of changes and they could do seasons and all of that. And then I played the game and I said, yeah, there's no way, there's absolutely no way they're going to be able to do that. The game just has too much going on. So maybe now has been enough time that they could make adjustments to the map. I still think some form of New Game Plus like that would be amazing. That could be sort of what I'm looking for from the randomizer. And everybody pointing me to PC, I just don't want to do that. I think plenty of people pick this game up on console. Plenty of people don't really want to mess with, you know, mods and fiddle around with those things, especially considering Elden Ring really, I think, opened up the FromSoft formula and the FromSoft games to other people who didn't traditionally play these games. And I think that that would be a great reason to make some of these really great things that the PC modding community is enjoying, make that more accessible. I do think from one side, I do agree. I see the beauty of the open world, the near perfection of the open world and the map. So suddenly changing that or fiddling with that might upset people. So you might want to make it something that you have to roll a character over into. Hey, when you engage with this content, it's going to make the base game change. Or they may just say, no, the base game is as it should be. We're not going to mess with it. I also just see an insane amount of potential for updates, changes, and evolutions for the world, the map, and the enemies. There's so many things you could do, so many permutations and combinations, especially if they were to tie it to the story. If the world itself is sort of changing and evolving because of things going on in the story, that'd be pretty awesome. Now, number 4, I know everybody's going to do the same thing with this one. You're going to tell me, oh, there's a mod for that. There's a mod for that. Save your breath. I know about the mods. I don't want them. I actually think sometimes when the modding community comes up with something that's so popular and so good, the developers should consider implementing that into the game. So number 4, give us seamless co-op without invasion, okay? Give us seamless co-op without invasion. And what's hilarious to me about this one is I know people will storm my comments. I know diehard FromSoft fans will tell me this is a ridiculous request. And yet, their own community seems to betray them because this thing is so popular on PC, it affected the actual ecosystem of Invasion. So the fact that it was created means people wanted it. They wanted seamless co-op. Nobody likes the current co-op setup of like you got to get them back in if they die and everything else. I played The Last Hero of Nostalgaia and they follow the same formula. Just let me stay in the world with somebody. Let me just play through the dadgum game with another person. We don't need to do all this weird hopping in and hopping out and then, oh, you're playing co-op, so we need to be able to invade you. Leave me alone is kind of my attitude. Now, before long-term fans get angry at this suggestion and get up my nose and tell me that this is absolutely ridiculous, the seamless co-op mod actually hurt invasions and the PvP numbers according to players on Reddit. There was somebody on there saying, listen, once that mod rolled out, I saw invasions and PvP dry up. Yeah, there's a reason for that. People were playing the co-op mod. They just wanted to play with their buddies. They didn't want to get invaded. They didn't want to deal with your stupid PvP meta. Yep, I'll say it. PvP metas are annoying. You all do the same thing. You claim that it's the best way to play the game, and then you whittle the game down to one build that everybody hates and complains about. And those of us that aren't big fans of PvP have no idea what's going on, and we get owned by some meta-running sweathead who just won't leave people alone. I just want to play with a friend. I just want to play with a buddy. I don't want to deal with all of that. Give me seamless co-op and give it to me without invasions, okay? People want it, and apparently they play it to such a degree that it affected the actual economy and the ecosystem and the number of players going into PvP in Elden Ring, okay? The mod wasn't created for no reason. There was clearly a demand for it, and the demand apparently was so high that it affected the player interest and the normal activity for invasions. Players want it, and they used the mod so much that it impacted the actual game world. Now, impacting the game world has something to do with number 5. Okay? Number 5. Recently, in an interview, apparently Miyazaki has been taking inspiration from Escape from Tarkov. And I would like to see the Tarkov influence actually land in a mode or some form of content ad. So this is number 5. I want this to land, but not in the way that you might think, and his inspiration might not be in the way that you might think. Like, is he going to put an extraction mode into Elden Ring? I have no idea. I don't even know if when he said this he was specifically talking about Elden Ring, but in an interview with IGN, quote, Miyazaki said that he's been keeping an eye on how other developers have been updating multiplayer network functionality and game design in ways that change how, quote, the players are involved in the gameplay, and even how, quote, players are used as one of the resources for the gameplay. So, players being a resources for the gameplay, like, you kill somebody, you get something from them, right? PC Gamer had the following to say: it makes me think of games like EVE Online, where players have a huge amount of leverage in determining fundamental aspects of the game world, which in turn makes me think of the original Demon's Souls world tendency system, where players' actions could make a zone harder or easier for everyone. So they could do something in the game world where they're tracking what people are doing, they're tracking your behavior, and maybe it's adjusting the actual enemies and the things going on in the world. I could also see some type of a rogue mode or like a dungeon mode where you would need to get through, survive, and get out. So this is get a little extraction here. I could see them doing this, by the way. Let's say you have a dungeon and you're going through it and it's randomly generated. This is where the randomizer could help, right? And you go through it and you get through it, and while you're trying to get through there, maybe players can invade you, and you know that's going to happen. I obviously think the PvP meta could completely ruin a mode like this, but let's just imagine that that's what's going on. If you actually get through and survive, you would get out with your runes. You would get out with the weapons or the loot or the things that you found, and now you would have them for the next run, and maybe the next run gets a little bit harder, or maybe you want to ratchet up the difficulty, so you'd be able to take those things onto your next run. There is a looting aspect already in the game. There is if you die, you can lose your runes, right? You got to get back to your runes. They already have sort of an economy that would work with extraction, which would be insane to me. For, an Elden Ring extraction mode, really? I actually think this would be something that could be really, really fun, especially for the people who enjoy that thrill of getting in and getting out or fighting other players. Even if they don't do that, if they do more of a living world, players impacting, the world itself and changing things could also be very good. Now, while these things are potentially out of step with the FromSoft community, I'm asking for a randomizer, I'm asking for a boss rush, I'm asking for co-op without invasions, and I would like it to be seamless co-op. I'm asking for an update to the map and the world. Many people might say this is completely out of step with what the community wants. Listen, I think these would be big quality adds for the player base and players like myself. And you have to remember, the wider player base is no longer just longtime FromSoft fans. There's a bigger and a wider audience because of things they did specifically with Elden Ring, and I think they could continue to do more. And that is the show open. Those are the 5 things that I would like to see in an Elden Ring DLC. Debate me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm stupid. I don't care. Let's debate. Well, don't tell me I'm stupid. Tell me I'm wrong. Am I right? What would you like to see? What would you like to see added? Anyone who invades me will face Benram Darkbelly, the greatest mage in Elden Ring. Yeah, let's get the coffee in the frame. Let's get the member count up. You guys, I'm giving you... Oh, that's from yesterday. I'm giving you guys until March the 2nd if you want to unlock the Just Dance streams and the Just Dance outfits. You have until March the 2nd. You did unlock the doubleheader horror game weekend. We will be doing that this weekend. Friday and Saturday evening, my wife will be streaming. I will be finishing The Devil in Me. We've only played it once, so we should be able to get it done with Part 2 and Part 3. So, no, code GetFricked is not... Oh, let me turn that off. Let me turn that timer off. Hang on. Thank you very much. Disable. All right, I just disabled that timer. Code GetFricked is no longer working. We will be doing a special this month though for March. I don't know if it's live yet. I'm waiting for Creature. Creature will greenlight if that's live or not. What's good, Feed? I see you in the chat, guys. We definitely need to take care of Feed. He does not have a badge. Those are great streams with his wife. They are. They're very, very fun. Co-op is a must for the update, says Dave. Lona, wondering if you see the non-combat activities in Elden Ring or if you play specifically for the bosses in the fights. I'm not sure what you mean. If I would like to see non-combat activities, you would need to give me an example of a non-combat activity. Thank you for over 1,000 likes over here on the Tickety Talk. Thanks for watching over here. The best way to support and watch is to click on the link in my profile and watch me on YouTube and maybe become a member. Thank you guys for over 100 likes over here on YouTube. Nice strong start to the day. Horse racing. Doesn't that seem kind of gimmicky? I mean, do you really think they're going to put horse racing inside of a game that looks like this? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Down with water exploration. Mick D09 with a $2 super chat tip asking, chat, feel free to weigh in on this one. Water exploration. Now, do you mean with like a boat or do you mean like swimming or something? I don't necessarily know. I mean, I could see getting in a boat and sort of traveling across an area to a new area. Why do you say you don't like the second half as much? That's a fair question, Kate. I feel like once you get to the fire giant, from that point on, there are repetitious things that I find annoying, right? And the number one thing is it's kind of two things. It's really, really difficult camera use on large enemies like the fire giant and some of the dragon fights where there's nowhere to go and you're like breaking your neck to look up. Not a fan of that. And I'm not a fan of what feels like an overuse of area of effect spam. I feel like there's a ton of area of effect spam in the second half of the game, the back half, and it makes the fights extremely frustrating. I feel like you're constantly being put into a position where you can't get close to the enemy to do anything. They're constantly putting stuff on the ground. There's a lot of spam. I don't know. I feel that my general consensus is the second half of the game, it's like they ran out of ideas to make it hard, so they just lean on AoE and spam. They're like, well, this will make it hard. And I know really, really strong players are like, it's not that difficult. You just have to do this, right? You just have to do that, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I feel like the quality of the game takes just a stunning nosedive in the second half of Elden Ring. The front half, it's beautiful. The world exploration, the bosses, the areas, everything. It's just like, oh, it's just perfect. It's like 10 out of 10. And then you get on that second half, and it just, I don't know. I feel like the whole game takes a nosedive. You know? And that's why some of the things I outlined, it's like, give me a randomizer. I want to, enjoy the beginning of the game again. Give me a boss rush, right? Horalu was a dope boss. Horalu is the only boss in the second half that I remembered enjoying. That and the giant dragon that, like, floats in the room. That the giant dragon that floats in the room, I like him. That was a good one. I agree with the second half, but I think it's as soon as you get to the mountaintop. But pro tip for enemies larger than life, don't lock on. I know. I'm supposed to change my play style and muscle memory because they wanted to make enemies the size of a skyscraper. Some builds literally just don't work in the second half. Exactly, Kate. Like, that's what frustrated me. It's like, if you get to the second half and you've really invested in one of the builds that struggles, it's like, what happened? What's going on? I like the second half of the game better than the first half. I think some of that's dependent on play style and build, Solemn. Like, I do. I think there are some people that do love the second half. And I think it's contextual. I think it's contextual and subjective, which is totally fine. That doesn't illegitimize what you're saying, but what it means is there's clearly a turning point, right? There's clearly a turning point. Something happens in the second half of the game, and there are people that are like, this is great, and there are people like, what the frick happened to my game? Like, what happened to this game, right? This game romances you, it woos you, it pulls you in, right? It's an amazing, the honeymoon period is awesome, right? Larval Tears for sure. Need to change my build so I could beat Melanie, which kind of sucks. Yeah, a lot of people felt like they needed to adjust their build when they got to Melania, or Melania, however you're supposed to say her name. Eugene says, initial explanation of Lernia, Kylid, Limgrave are unmatched. Hey, Kate! Our first member of the day, and it wasn't a gifted. I really appreciate that. I would love to see more people jumping in like that on their own. That is awesome. That doesn't happen on YouTube as much. We're usually having huge gifted numbers. Every 25 members, and I have to gift 5. And we do have a big goal. It's going to be tough to hit. We've already dropped a little bit. But if you guys hit 3,000, I have to do a Just Dance stream. 3,500, and I got to do it with an outfit. And you guys only have 2 days to pull it off. I'm not doing reverse psychology. I genuinely think we're not hitting it. But we did hit the doubleheader horror weekend. It said May 1st. Redfall comes out today. You have nothing to say. Did you just wake up from a coma? Redfall's coming out on May 2nd. It's March the 1st. Redfall's not out yet. It said May 1st. It's March 1st, brother. What happened to you? Are you feeling okay? Are you having a stroke? It's not May yet. Lady Maria of Bloodborne DLC was amazing. They made duo boss fights so well in Dark Souls 1 and 3, not sure what happened. That's another complaint in the second half of Elden Ring gameplay. People are like, why in the frick, why are there so many duo fights, right? I hate the duo fights. Yeah, March is now May. Yeah, this guy's time traveling. The double Godskin thing also made me quit the game. Sekiro did a lot better with the double apes. Yeah. I think Sekiro did do a better job with the apes if you're looking for good, double boss fights. Crispy Bow God is saying, listen, I want to see this man do a Just Dance stream. He's dropping a big one on chat. That is a 20 bomb. Let's hope that Feed gets one. Feed gets one. There it is. M. Gene, that's another name that I recognize. Scotty B, I recognize that name. KH3 for life, same. Connor McDonald, same. Zach Johnson, Carl FAQ, and MTO. These are all names I recognize. Crislow, Lawrence Wolf, Captain Toasty Buns, I know that guy. Calvin Brown, Brain Eclipse, Pager, Dynamite Black, UK Gamer, Greg Brimstone, and Incarcerated Lick, and JB. Man, that's a lot of people. Dynamite Black, good to see you here as well. Very generous. Crispy Bogod dropping a bomb on chat. Thank you so much. If you've never been here before, hit the like button. That is totally free to hit the like button, and it helps this video find more people. Also, hit the subscribe button. Subscribing doesn't cost anything, and then you won't miss out on my live shows like this Monday through Friday. I figured it was to push co-op play. Yeah, I mean, you guys think that's a fair pushback? I got a guy on the Tickety Talk, Eric Whitney. Eric Whitney might be making a fair pushback. I don't know. My brain's freezing on it a little bit. They give you summons. They give you co-op. Do you think that's... he didn't say it. I'll say it for him. Do you think they were trying to push you towards summoning? Summoning is in the game potentially as a solution to some of those duo fights. Maybe they're not meant to be fought solo. Maybe you're meant to get really angry fighting them solo. Silent Warrior hitting 18 months and it's a member VIP. 18 months using the May to March logic. By April, I'll get my red badge. Thank you there, Silent Warrior. B. Dudley hitting 8 months and it's a member plus. The mountaintop of giants is where Elden Ring really falls off in quality. Everything else is chef's kiss. I've had other people say that before. They say, listen, as soon as you get to that mountaintop, it's rough, right? It's rough. The game very much changes. Eric says, I didn't like it, but that's what I assumed. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair, measured, and mature response. Be like, I didn't like it, but I think that's what they were wanting us to do, right? They were wanting us to play with the summons, right? They were wanting us to play with summons and play with other people. Maybe, I don't know. Even with summons, the duo fight still sucked. That's somebody who never used Teach-A. Listen. Teach-A, is Teach-A still busted? Teach-A's a homie. Teach-A's an absolute homie. I literally didn't fight some bosses. I just kind of sat back and was like, all right, get to work. Sleep pot for the duo. Oh, yeah, you could always sleep pot. I had almost no problem with the duo fight, says Eugene. Teach-A broken? Still OP? Oh, you told me how to say your name. Ulatz? Dadgummit. What's your favorite boss? Thank you for the $2 tip. My favorite boss is probably the big dragon that floated in the sky. Everybody hated that dragon, and I thought that was amazing. I thought it was cinematically stunning. It was absolutely stunning. I loved it. A lot of people didn't like that fight. Miyazaki said they designed some boss fights around summon, says Barrier. Well, there you go. Hey, Eric, you were right. You were right, Eric. According to Miyazaki. Yeah. Placidusax. Yeah, Placidusax. That was the most memorable fight in the dadgum game. I loved it. Thought it was so awesome. And I beat it first try, I think I beat it first try. I really liked Margot, not Margit. The first time you fight him, he's Margit, and then he shows up again as Margot. I liked Margot when I was doing my no summons playthrough, and I was dead set on constantly using square off. Because square off and jump attacks and heavy attacks, brother, I was breaking everybody's posture. And I remember playing the Margot fight on my no summons playthrough, and people were like, this isn't going to work. You can't play him this way. And I beat him like my 7th try, and I was like, watch me. I knew I could do it, right? I knew I could do it. I loved it. Placidusax, Malekith, Radagon, Godfrey, Horalu are excellent bosses. I hated Malekith. I freaking hated him. Stupid Fortisax. He's talking about Placidus. He's not talking about Placidusax. I'm talking about the one where, like, I laid down and then I ended up in a giant arena and the dragon was, like, floating in the sky. Placidusax was the only dragon that I enjoy fighting. The only part I don't like is that I had to walk so far to get to him again. The new promo for the coffee is live. For a limited time, get $5 off the Triple Threat Bundle by using code March Madness. Does that make it $45, creature, like we said? Where's that land? Yeah, that's Placidusax. Yeah. Oh, then he's talking about Placidusax. Yeah, that I'm telling you, that was my favorite fight. It was epic. The music, the whole thing. I was like, this is absolutely incredible. This is absolutely incredible. No love for Moog. I never played Moog, and I know, and Moog's a cheater. I know it. You describe Fortisax better? Described Fortisax better? Huh? Can I substitute in Dark Roasts? No. You did miss one huge boss. I love the gargoyles. Oh. The freaking gargoyles, bro. Booting back into Elden Ring after not playing for months, says Captain Steve. To get back to being a Dex Master makes me feel nervous. Beat the game. Nearly had a heart attack doing it. It's 45. Okay, so right now, you guys can get the triple threat at reforgeroast.com. You can get the triple threat for 45 bucks. That's a really good deal. That's all three of our flavors for 45 bucks. Just use code March Madness, right? For limited time. I'm gonna put that on the timer that we were running. We had a timer about the Frickmas blend, and let's do this. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to change it to say, get the triple threat for $45. UK Gamer with a 5 gifted member bomb, taking us to 26 on the day. Get the triple threat bundle for $45. I almost said for $5. Get our triple threat bundle for 45 bucks by using code March Madness. There you go. And let me enable the timer. Bada bing. My man Captain Steve coming back in with a membership. Man, I appreciate that support. Says, what would you do to get back into the swing of things with Elden Ring DLC, mate? What would I do? I don't know. You know what I would honestly do? I would just play the opening of the game. You're not going to have any of your stuff, though. You're not going to have any of your points. That's a tough one. Derek needs a badge. Oh, my brother's badge fell off. We got to take care of that. Solemn, Ron, Saint-ism, Kraken, and Viceroy all got badges back. Guys, welcome back in as members. Now I owe 5. That's it. There we go. I owe you 5. I've been doing those at the end of the stream. That gives you a reason to stick around. I hated that every quest I actually wanted to do and finish, I literally had to look up a guide. A lot of people didn't like that. DLC bosses are mostly much stronger than the base game bosses. I'm sure there will be a DLC boss that will make Melania look like a joke. Golly, I hope not. Such a good boss fight for being somewhat hidden. Yeah, the dragon's kind of hidden. He really, really is. If you guys are just tuning in, I can run down through the top 5 things that I want to see in the Elden Ring DLC Shadow of the Erdtree. The Elden Ring DLC announcement happened, and I walked through the top 5 things that I want to see in the DLC. Forgot about this. Thank you for 18 months, Jaggy Snake, and it's a member plus. Appreciate that. Wait until the DLC bosses. Right transmission from the space boat is like people can't stop it. They can't stop the wait until, you know. My favorite Elden Ring boss was the one you had to roly-poly through its legs a lot. That's a handful of them, isn't it? My man James Carr was 6 months in a VIP plus. Woohoo, 6 months and going strong. Welcome back in, James Carr. I appreciate that so much. If you guys are just tuning in, be sure to smash the like button. We have almost 400 people here, and we don't have 200 likes yet. And that'll help us find more people. That'll help us meet more people. We haven't had very many new subscribers this morning. It means I'm primarily streaming to people who have been here before, and that's awesome. But if you haven't been here before, we would love to meet you. Make sure you're logged in so you can subscribe and like. That way I'll be in your feed for the rest of the week or whenever I'm covering content that'll interest you. You can always check your subscriber feed. We want to hear from you. Type in the chat. Say, hey, this is what I want from an Elden Ring DLC. By the way, it's an Elden Ring expansion. It's not just an Elden Ring DLC. It's an Elden Ring expansion. And they didn't announce, they're like, oh, it's coming. They're like, it's in development. We got a ways to go probably before this comes out. I'm thinking holiday. I'd say Placidusax boss is super easy to miss, even though you have to go to that area to use a certain key item and remove the Chaos Flame, ending being locked in. Hey! James took care of my brother. Thank you so much, James. always so generous with the membership and super chats, and here he comes walking in the room, and he takes care of my brother Derek, gifting a membership. Thank you, James. Honestly, I'd prefer performance over new content. What do you mean performance? What would you like to see? Super Stua, been a long time. Life's been busy. Happy to see you continue to succeed. Thank you, Super Stua. I appreciate that very, very much. Coming out years after the release, it would be not great for people to pick up the game again. Yeah, I think that's going to be a challenge for people. Like, a lot of people probably took a break from this game. You have to think about how many people jumped into Elden Ring gameplay for the very first time. It was like their first FromSoft game, right? It's the most beaten From Software game, probably the most played From Software game. I mean, I would imagine that a lot of those people haven't played in an age, you know? Oh, frame rates. The game feels janky, not hating. I purchased it. I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you. There are frame timing issues. I still play the game. The PS4 version on my PS5. I don't trust it. I never saw it specifically addressed. Yo, Zero coming in. Welcome back in as a member. Appreciate you so much. Just got in. What are your 5 things? All right, let me walk you guys through. Let me give you a recap. If you appreciate recaps, smash the like button. We're back into that weird thing where I have to beg for likes. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're embedded somewhere, but we have almost 400 people here, man. Smash that like button. You got to show some appreciation for everything we do here on the show. Like we are asleep at the wheel this morning for some reason on that. We used to have to beg for them. I don't like mentioning it like I used to. Here's your recap. The top 5 things that I want from an Elden Ring DLC. Well, it's an Elden Ring expansion, but everybody's calling it Elden Ring DLC. So the first thing I want is a randomizer. And I know everybody's going to say there's an Elden Ring randomizer mod. You can go download it on PC. Why would they put that in the game? Well, the reason that I want it in the game in an expansion or in some type of a update is because I think it would really, really rejuvenate that open world experience. It would really create that sense of, I get to experience the game fresh, and I want to bottle that. I would love to bottle that maybe once a year and just do a fresh playthrough of Elden Ring and not have static loot locations, static enemy locations, bosses, and the rest. All those things that, you stumble upon in the dungeons and in the open world. So I think a randomizer would be amazing. I don't think I'm going to get that, by the way. It's just something that I am requesting, right? And it's slightly related to the second thing that I would like to see. I would like to see some type of Elden Ring boss rush, maybe a dungeon rush, something like that, where you can just sort of fight the bosses. I think one of the things that hurts Elden Ring is the open world. It's one of the best things about the game, but it also could be considered one of the worst things about the game when you're on your second, third, and fourth playthrough, right? I don't want to deal with having to go through all these big, huge open areas, dungeons I've seen before, enemies I've seen before, loot locations I've seen before. Sekiro added a boss rush. That is true. That's one of the reasons that I asked for it. I actually said this was the one out of my list of 5 that I think most From Software games, most From Software fans would fall in line with, right? This is my first From Software game, and I'm on my 4th playthrough. I love it so much. That's impressive. That's really impressive, Kate, that you've played it that many times. That's crazy, because I know a lot of people, halfway through their second playthrough, they kind of fell out with the game. They're like, no, I'm good. So those are the first 2 things I want from an Elden Ring DLC. A boss rush and a randomizer. That's 1 and 2. Number 3, I would like them to update the map and the world. The Elden Ring map is phenomenal. The world is spectacular. Some people might look at this as like a burning the sacred text sort of thing, that it's sacred, you can't mess with it, the map and the world is perfect. But if you're going to be doing an expansion, it'd be cool if it impacted the world itself. I had my own speculations that the world and the map might change in New Game Plus. You beat the game, you become an Elden Lord, and now the game is different, right? There's power vacuums, there's bosses that are now dead, there's things that you can now do and not do. There's dungeons that have been taken over by different enemies and different bosses and things like that. So update the map and the world, especially if they were to tie it to the story. those boss randomizers get wild. Well, sure, I think they'd have to keep it within reason. I do think that, like, fights like this would have to stay the same. You know, you wouldn't be able to, I don't think, like, remove vanilla or mainstay story bosses. Like, you couldn't go into, like, Radahn's room and it's, you know, I don't even know what, one of the cats from the dungeon. That I don't think that would work, right? We're having a bit of a bump in viewership right now. If you're just tuning in, I'm going through my list of things that I would like to see from the Elden Ring DLC. Be sure to chime in chat with what you would like to see. I've done number 1, which is a randomizer. Number 2 is a boss rush. Number 3 is update the map and the world. Number 4, listen, I know people are going to say so much of what I'm asking for, you know, I could have if I would just go use mods on the PC. I'm not going to use mods on the PC, and neither is a lot of the player base that jumped into this as their very, very first From Software game, okay? So, my 4th thing, give me seamless co-op without invasion. I want drop-in, drop-out co-op all the time, wherever I want, and I don't want invasion. And I know people are going to say, oh, you can't do that, that's sacrilege. As a longtime From Software fan, I can't abide that, blah, 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 blah. Well, apparently, the seamless drop-in, drop-out co-op was incredibly popular on PC. It's, I think, one of the most downloaded mods for the game. And secondly, according to people on Reddit, it actually affected invasions in PvP. So many people flocked to the Elden Ring seamless co-op mod that it affected invasions in PvP. And that tells me that all you people that are like, no, you can't do that, that's bad, well, the community is back behind you kind of betraying you. They're like, yeah, you tell them. And then they're like, I don't like it, I'm playing the seamless co-op mod. I think both the creation of the Elden Ring co-op mod as well as the popularity of it, I think points to the fact that that's probably in greater demand than an ongoing PvP situation. And listen, I'll debate this with you all day if you want to debate me. Elden Ring PvP falls into the same traps and tropes that virtually every other PvP game falls into. Everyone complains and moans about the meta while using the meta. Like, everybody's running the same builds that are broken and busted. They will patch them, and then you'll run the next one that gets discovered after the patch gets put out. And a lot of us have zero desire to engage with that. I'm just trying to play with my buddies, right? Did you ever play Sekiro? And which do you like more, Elden Ring or Sekiro? Sekiro. Yeah. Sekiro is I think Sekiro is melee combat perfection. I think it's melee combat perfection. Like, I almost quit Sekiro. I was doing great. I was moving. I was grooving. I was getting there. And then I got to the very last fight. Ishin almost broke my will. It took me 5 hours to beat him. By the end of the game, most bosses didn't take me more than about an hour. And a lot of the times I wasn't even using the shinobi arts. I was just using my blade. Like, when I fought the owl, people were like, dude, you played that on hard mode, you didn't use any of your arts, you just used your freaking blade. And yeah, I think Sekiro is melee combat perfection. I think Elden Ring is inconsistent, and I think the back half of the game is disappointing. I don't think Sekiro ever hits a note that's not ruthless and infuriating, but I always felt like it was fair. Ishin turned me into something else. The final boss of Sekiro did something to me, and it's a memorable game. There are very few games that I can say that about. There may be 2, maybe 3, that have had such a mental and psychological, maybe even spiritual impact on me, and Sekiro's one of those games. Sekiro's a game it's in a hall of fame all of its own for me personally. There's not a lot of games that I can say that about. And so, I loved it. Now, within the realm of Elden Ring, I think Elden Ring does something that very few games do well, which is true, genuine open world discovery, right? Like, true, genuine open world discovery, you know? Lazaro says 5 points, too long, didn't read. Man, Lazaro, I just did a recap. All right, I'll do it again because I like you. All right, well, I haven't gotten to the 5th one, so I'll recount them really quickly. Right now, we were debating my number 4, which is give us seamless co-op without invasion. And I know the FromSoft fans hate that, but that was one. All right, Elden Ring expansion, top 5 things I want. I'm going to quickly read them again because I haven't done number 5 yet. Number 1, give me a randomizer. Number 2, give me a boss rush. Number 3, update the map and world. Number 4, give us seamless co-op without invasion. And number 5, according to interviews, Miyazaki has apparently been taking some inspiration from Escape from Tarkov. And I think it would be cool to take that and say, okay, we can have a mode where that gets implemented. Ideas of whether you're trying to get in through a dungeon and get out, and when you get out, you take with you what you found, loot, runes, etc., and then the dungeons maybe get a little bit harder. That's kind of like an extraction mode. He also made mention with the Tarkov thing of like games that use players as a resource within the gameplay itself. That could be something where the gamers are impacting the world through things that they're doing. So maybe if enough people do something in the world within Elden Ring, they would tabulate all that information, and they could push out updates, things like that. Complaining about invasion. What's funny is I'm not really complaining about invasion. I've never been invaded. I've literally, it's real simple. It's real simple. I look at it and say, oh, who's complaining about seamless? I've never seen anyone. So you've never seen a single person complain about the co-op not being seamless. So they created seamless drop-in, drop-out co-op. It's like one of the most popular mods for Elden Ring, but no one's ever complained about it not being seamless. Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris. Everybody complains about that. It's irritating. Just let me drop in and drop out. It's one of the most complained about things with co-op. Right? Now, I'm very simple. I've never been invaded. Why? Because I look at co-op and say, oh, people can invade me? I'm not playing co-op then. It's that simple. It's an equation for me. Oh, someone can come into my game and ruin my experience with some sweatband meta build that he researched on Reddit and I'm going to die in 2 seconds? No, I'm good. I'm not doing that. Why would I want to do that? I'm not opening up my game to your degenerate behavior. I've got better things to do with my time. Do you know what I'm saying? Having to constantly rejoin is annoying. Yeah, I don't know how that's not annoying. You can't just stay in the game with people. I don't think he knows what seamless means. Yeah, maybe we might be passing in the night. Do you know what seamless co-op is? Seamless co-op is literally like drop in, drop out, and you just stay with them the whole time. There is no rejoining necessary. Elden Ring co-op is the worst. Yes, it's annoying AF. Okay, well, Chris, you said you've never seen anybody complain about it. You got a ton of people in chat. You got a ton of people in chat this morning. They're like, brother, it's freaking annoying. Are you kidding me? I'm pushing back on FromSoft veterans complaining Amir wanting seamless. I'm not sure what you're saying. I'm pushing back on FromSoft veterans complaining Amir wanting seamless. Read my messages, please. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what that means. You just type something that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm talking about the FromSoft fans complaining about wanting seamless. Oh, wait. Okay, hang on. Okay. You're typing, your sentences are structured oddly. You're saying that the FromSoft fans complaining about seamless, that you think that's ridiculous. You think seamless is totally fine. You're saying, I've never seen any of the FromSoft fans complain about seamless. Is that what you're saying? I'll tell you what I saw, right? The way that they approach the seamless co-op, it affected invasions because there's no invasion in seamless co-op. You don't have to worry about it. Any guess on a release date? I'm thinking holiday. The PvP in Elden Ring is weird. Co-op should just be a harder mode where the enemies get upscaled. Yeah, I would much rather deal with that. Risen King says, I like invasions, but I wouldn't mind seamless co-op without them. It would be nice. It'd be a nice... Listen, I'm here to tell you. All you FromSoft fans, all you diehards, listen carefully to this. If you're watching the VOD and you've already stormed my comments, just listen carefully. I would put money on the table that if they output a co-op without invasions, co-op with invasions, I'd put money on the table that it's very easy to predict which one would be more popular, and that's your answer. That's your answer. Now, I'm not pulling fallacy of the group and saying, well, because more people would prefer it without, that therefore makes it better. But what I'm saying is, everybody acts like that's sacrilege and the hardcore fans would revolt. I guarantee you, if you had co-op without invasions and co-op with, way more people, 80% would choose without invasions because they're like, I'm just trying to play with my buddy. I don't really freaking care. If I want to play PvP, I'll play PvP. I'll team up with my buddy and we'll go to one of the arenas or whatever. Like, I'm telling you, it would be more popular. Seamless Co-op has 1.7 million downloads, says Paul. It's got 3 times more downloads versus any other mod of the game. Thank you. There's the numbers. There's the numbers. And easy mode would be popular too. No. That's not the point that I'm making. That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is, to the established user base, the people that play, 1.7 million people have downloaded the Seamless Co-op mod. It literally affected PvP and invasions because so many people flocked to it. I saw people complaining. They're like, yeah, no one invades anymore. No one's playing PvP anymore. I have a friend that keeps trying to get me to get Elden Ring for PC because of the co-op mod. I mean, listen, Cowboy, I'm pretty sure Abe and some other people will tell you it literally is the only way they can play the game. They won't play the game any other way. It's that good. It's that good. They've been in here saying like it's a different game. It's a different game. The cheaters ruined it. Man, it's crazy, right? It's crazy that another game with PvP is ruined by the meta and ruined by cheaters. It's crazy. I've never seen that happen before, except for in literally every game with PvP. I push back on no invasions from Lone Wolf. Some pushback on no invasion. You said that the PvP stuff dried up. I feel like it's more so because of the seamless co-op than no invasions. I do understand that some players don't like the invasions. Lone Wolf, seamless co-op doesn't have invasions. So people are choosing to do seamless co-op instead of traditional co-op where invasions take place. Now, you could be right. I can't automatically presume, but come on. 1.7 million people downloaded a seamless co-op mod, and they're choosing to do that instead of the version where they can be invaded. Now, you might say, well, they're doing it for the ease of use, and you might be right. I don't want to claim that all, let's just round it up to 2 million. I don't want to claim that like all 2 million people that downloaded that mod did it because they don't want to be invaded. The problem with invasions is there's no solo invasions. You only invade duos or trios. I don't want easy mode, says Zubair. I don't want to have to walk around saying Elden Ring games are for children. I'm still playing Elden Ring, but honestly, I wouldn't buy the DLC you're talking about in your 5 points. Oh, I didn't say this would be the DLC. Yeah, I think you're misunderstanding. I didn't say that this would be the DLC you would pay for. These would be quality of life updates to the base game that would come with the DLC. I'm well aware that the Elden Ring expansion, the, Shadow of the Erdtree, the Elden Ring DLC is not going to do any of the things I talked about. I might get some semblance of them, right? You could be right about the release date, says Barrier. Apparently, Armored Core 6 has a September to October release window. Yeah, and then Elden Ring DLC could land in the winter. It could land around holidays. You got to let Armored Core 6 get out. Why'd it post like that? Yeah, Creature hates how it does double image posts now. Like, I got to click on each image. Like, what? Once again, Discord displaying how doing something for the sake of convenience and then it makes it not convenient at all. Sources have now revealed that the developers have planned a release window that falls between September and October for Armored Core 6. Unless it gets further internally delayed, there are more chances for this title to launch in late September rather than getting pushed to sometime in October. Additionally, it was disclosed to me that From Software wants to get Armored Core 6 out before releasing Shadow of the Erdtree expansion for Elden Ring. New feature, dumb AF. It's super dumb. This isn't Twitter. It's a chat room. Like, it's not Twitter. It's a stupid chat. It's a chat room. You have to send separate messages for each image. Yeah, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I don't know why they did that. Discord needs to wake up. Like, you're not Twitter. It's a chat room. Like, when someone posts 2 images, you don't need to do, like, the square. Or just give you the option. You know? Hey, when I send multiple images, don't do that. Do line breaks. You know what I'm saying? Do line breaks, please. Jake says, having builds that favor PvP than invading those farming runes is broken, if you ask me. Easy mode's already built into the game, though. Golden Halberd is the first major weapon you can get. Well, I think people would argue that easy mode's baked into the game with summons. I think summoning is easy mode. I literally had summons that fought bosses for me. I'm sorry, I would be in the minority if I was in your chat, it seems. I don't stream on Purple, Nicholas. I stream on YouTube. If you guys are watching on the Tickety Talk and you ever want to really support, you need to click the link in my profile and come over to my YouTube channel. YouTube, just go look for Reforge Gaming. Yeah, summons and magic. Yeah, and sorcery. That's right. That's right. I want to know what you guys want. Like, what do you want from an Elden Ring expansion? Do you just want more bosses in a new area? Or are there far-reaching quality of life changes and updates that you would like to see? Like, I'm saying things that I know likely won't happen, but I'm just making a video about, like, this is what I would love to see, because I think that's more interesting than all of the lore speculation that much more educated people are going to make. Like, I don't make those kind of videos. So, like, obviously, I have this laundry list of things that I would like to see. Do you're like, just a new area and new bosses? Or do you like, no, I want the base game to have some updates and changes. I want it to be more linear. I want them to patch next gen, says Eugene. New lands and bosses. Riddick says, I'd like to see story. Give me sick boss fights, weapons, and areas, and I'm happy. Yeah, I didn't think about brand new weapon arts, brand new weapons. That could be good. Completely new ways to play, you know? Content, says Barrier. I'm fine with whatever. Just give me more. Okay. You want transmog. Transmog would be pretty sick, because sometimes I'm wearing things for stats, and there are some outfits in the game that look sick. I will give transmog an honorable mention. I would love that. It's definitely one of those games where you're like, well, yeah, I'm wearing this because of the stats, but I look like a freaking idiot. I feel like PvP content is lazy. More devs need to invest more in story. It's the reasons why Halo is dead now, in my opinion. I don't necessarily think PvP is lazy content. I think PvP needs to be constantly treated and updated and given reasons to log back in. I think oftentimes maybe what you're pointing to is that PvP is treated lazily, not that PvP in and of itself is lazy content. You know? Armor stats don't really matter, though. I'm sorry, what? Chat, was I playing the game wrong this entire time? What do you mean armor stats don't really matter? What are you telling me, Lido? Are you kidding me? I invested quite a bit in certain armor pieces. They matter quite a bit. Your entire build can change by changing your armor. All your stats can drop or go up, or you're slow rolling and everything goes off. Those imp helmets are great. Yeah, I remember my most recent play. I had an imp helmet on the whole dadgum time. 0 poise and 100 poise. Yeah, it matters. Armor stats don't matter. Me, PvP was 75% mitigation. It's that meme. You know the meme where the puppet like looks to the side like, yeah, sure. Sure, armor stats don't matter. Come and play PvP with that attitude. That's good. That's really good. Your damage negation is hugely impacted by armor. If you want to tank hits instead, you need that poise, baby. Yeah. Fashion souls, right? Right? Wish you could upgrade armor. Wait, what do you mean? Is my memory busted? I thought you could upgrade armor. I know you can upgrade the summons, and you can upgrade the shields, and you can upgrade the weapons. I thought you... Can you not upgrade the armor? You can't upgrade armor. My brain is breaking. Upgrading armor would be dope. Okay, yeah. That's a false memory. I had a memory of doing it, but you upgrade the weapons and the shields and the summons so much, I think I just created a false memory. Yeah, I thought you could. Yeah, I don't know if you'd be able to upgrade armor, though, within the current systems that they've had built. That might mess with it, right? You can't upgrade the horse. Yeah, I guess that's true. Can't upgrade the horse. Guys, with over 400 people here, man, 300 likes would look incredible. We've already hit our 25 member goal. Every 25 members, and I have to give 5. We did hit 2,500 members. So this weekend, members, don't forget, Friday and Saturday night, we'll be doing the double header horror game weekend. My wife and I will be finishing Devil in Me. So make sure you're here for that. Make sure you're in the Discord. Thank you, everybody, for smashing like over here on the Tickety Talk. 3,000 likes. You guys are crushing it. You can also click that share button to share the video with other people that you think might like it. Throw it in places that you think people might want to click. Which goal is the beard shave? Oh, golly. The beard shave is like 4,000 members. You guys aren't even going to get your Just Dance stream. I don't think so. You would need some of the god tier gifting gods to come to the chat. There's no way. Just Dance is like over 500 members away. With the outfit, it's over 1,000 members away. You need over 1,500 members to get the beard shave. I don't think you can do that in 2 days. That would take a massive, massive amount of commitment. I don't think it's possible. One time I was playing co-op with my cousin, and we got invaded by some guy named Game of the Year. We both tried to kill him, but he ended up killing my cousin. Next thing I know, he stopped fighting. He dropped something on the ground. It ended up being 99 Lord runes. Oh, was he like a duper, and he was just being silly? Lono, you have to fight Moog in his place to find Michaela's egg. Or is it Mikola? Is it Mikola? No way we get the outfit just for the... no way we get the outfit for the Just Dance stream. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You guys have already... We rolled over into a new month, so you've already lost people. You've already lost members. We've already dropped. Like... I'm not upset, by the way. I'm just being real with y'all. It's really, really hard to hit numbers like that. Yeah, we already dropped below 2,500. We're at 2,415. You would need almost 600 members just to get the Just Dance stream. So, some of that. Listen. I'll be real with y'all. Some of that's on people that don't do memberships. That YouTube doesn't have an ecosystem that does that. You know. We rely too heavily on gifteds. We need other people to start stepping up and just becoming members on their own. Because 600 members with the amount of viewership we get from day to day, that shouldn't be difficult at all. But YouTube audiences don't do it. They think it's weird. It's a new idea to them, right? It's just a new idea. A 2-spot from Ulat. I can't remember how to say your name. Any non-Souls RPGs you like better? Ulatek. There it is. Ulatek. I almost had it. Non-Souls RPGs that I like better? Yes. Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. YouTube is the Game Pass of streaming. Yeah, I love Ghost of Tsushima. I've still haven't done everything in the game. I'm right now going around getting every single question mark, and then I'm going to finish Ikishima, and then I want to replay the entire game on Lethal. I would love to stream that, but there would be zero demand for it. So, that's probably one of my favorite non-Souls RPGs out there. Have you peeped Wolong? I tried the Wolong demo. It's too fast. It's too fast. Like, it's for people that like Neo. It's for people that like Neo. Is Sekiro harder than Dark Souls? Yeah. Because Sekiro, you can't over level, right? You can't over level. You can't really cheese in Sekiro. You either beat it or you don't. So. Same with me. I don't like Neo and Team Ninja Combat. It's too quick. Yeah, it's just too fast. Like, parry window in Wolong is small. There were a couple of fights that went in my favor in Wolong, and they weren't satisfying because I felt like I got lucky. I didn't feel like I was doing anything. Like when you're playing Sekiro or when you're playing Elden Ring and you pull it off and you get better or you do the thing that you need to do, you can sense it. You're like, yes. oh, I did that. When I was playing the Wolong demo and I did the right things, I was like, I don't frickin' know how I did that. The last 2 times I tried, it didn't work, and that time it did work. Like, when you make parry windows that are that small, it makes it so hard to distinguish, like, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between a successful parry and a missed parry? I can't tell. I feel like I'm hitting it at the exact same time, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Do you see what I'm saying? Yo, DursTube jumping back in as a member. Congrats on that green badge. Welcome back in. I would say it's Team Ninja's version of Sekiro, whereas Neo is their Dark Souls. The parry is dope. My only issue is the wonky frame rate. I don't know if you got to the actual boss fight. The mechanics clear up. I don't know. I didn't like it. Yeah, nothing felt better than defeating the twin gargoyles the first time. Only critical thing I can say about Grounded multiplayer is the glitches in the frame rates. Oh, you guys are talking about Grounded. If you guys are just tuning in, thank you so much for being here. We are discussing the Elden Ring DLC, the Elden Ring expansion, the top 5 things I would want to see. What are the things that you would want to see? Hit subscribe so you can talk in my chat. Thank you so much for being here. We are 50 likes away from another like milestone. Thank you for that. We're just a couple of subs away from another sub milestone. Thank you for that. You guys are crushing it today. This channel has very good conversations about gameplay. Thank you. Yo, Mark a Word jumps back in as a member after 6 months. Elden Ring in 120 FPS would be cool, but it got the job done in 60. Game of the year. Thank you so much. I missed your top 5. All right, I'll give you a recap. Give me some likes as a way to say thank you for the recap. So if you're just tuning in and you appreciate this recap, so you don't have to go rewind the stream, give me some likes. The first 2 things I want to see are kind of related. Number 1, I'd love to see a randomizer. I know I'm probably not going to get this, but it's something that I would love to see added to the game as a quality of life improvement. This doesn't need to be central to the DLC or the expansion, but I would like to see this added to the game. And yes, I am aware I can get this on PC as a mod, but a randomizer I think would be amazing. Yo, Mark a Word's going to gift a membership and push us a little bit higher on the member goal. If that hits 50, I owe you more than 5. I'll owe you 10 members, so you can keep pushing the members up on your own or with a gift. I got my membership gifted. Pay it forward. That's the way to do it, Mark a Word. Thank you. So the randomizer, while I do know is available on PC as a mod, I would love to see that because I think the open world experience in Elden Ring is probably one of the best things about it. Now, the open world experience, however, is one of the reasons that some people kind of fell out of love with New Game Plus or playing the game more than one time. So the second thing that I would like to see is a boss rush. Some way to play the bosses and just the bosses in order. A dungeon rush would be good as well. Something to that effect. So the first 2 things are sort of related to each other. They're on opposite sides of the coin. One is saying, let me randomize the world. The other is saying, can I just fight the bosses, right? Number 3 is update the map and the world. Update the map and the world. If you update the map and the world to make it feel new, to make it feel fresh, and it's tied to the story, the expansion, that could be pretty cool. Now, some people look at the Elden Ring map and the open world and they say, listen, Elden Ring gameplay hinges on this map. Like, it's sacred. You can't mess with it. I tend to agree with them, but I also think if you were to push a button or do something in the menu to say, hey, I want to go into the Elden Ring expansion, I want to go into the Elden Ring DLC, and you did that, and it then changed the map, I think that'd be a way to protect people who think, no, the map is beautiful, the map is perfect, leave it alone. It's also very big. I don't know how much they could actually do to it since the world is so massive. I originally, before the game came out, I had my own theories about how, New Game Plus would potentially change the map or update it because now you're in Elden Lord, right? So changing the map and the world. The fourth thing I would like to see is seamless drop in, drop out co-op without invasions. And I know people are going to push back and say you can't do that. Well, the seamless co-op mod on PC has almost 2 million downloads. It's the most popular mod by an insane margin because that's what people want. You can argue all day long about PvP and invasions being, central to co-op or whatever, but the problem with PvP is it just turns into metagaming, and that's frustrating for people who have no clue what the current meta is, what the current best build is, especially when they're just trying to play with their friends. Now, I know that all of these, I'll do my fifth one in just a second. I know that all of these things are largely like selfish, self-centered requests. These are things that I would like to see, but I do think some of my requests would be great quality of life updates to the game that a lot of people are already confirming that they like or would want or would support. You have to remember that Elden Ring is probably the single most successful commercial From Software game out there as far as From Software games go. It's the single most commercially successful. It's the most played. It's the most beat. So you have a ton more people in the player funnel. You have a ton more people that have really never played a From Software game before. And I think that would be a reason to add some of these things. These are things that people would like. I don't think you need invasions in co-op, as one particular point. Now, related to co-op and PvP and invasions, Miyazaki apparently has been taking inspiration from Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is an extraction game where you have PvE objectives, but there's other people in the game that can mess with you, kill you, steal from you, whatever. And he says that he's sort of looking at that as inspiration for games where players are involved in the gameplay. Players are used as one of the resources for the gameplay. And you could have a mode or a content ad that does something like that. I don't necessarily know if you would want to do an Elden Ring extraction game where you go through and maybe you're doing dungeons, and if you survive and get out, you get to keep the runes that you earned, you get to keep the weapons and the loot that you found, and then you can take those into the next run, into the next dungeon. Think about, DMZ in Call of Duty, right? You get stuff, you get out, you go back in, and then maybe they could include some sort of PvP in that. Also, you have to consider that something that in relation to his inspiration from Tarkov, the guys from PC Gamer said that it makes them think of EVE Online, where players have a huge amount of leverage over determining fundamental aspects of the game world, and it made them think about Demon Souls' world tendency system, where players' actions were making certain zones harder or easier. So they could certainly do that with this open world map. They could certainly do that with these fights. Like if everybody's going and farming a certain boss or doing a certain thing, maybe it makes that portion of the map easier or more challenging. Maybe it makes portions of the map or missions or zones more lucrative. Maybe more treasure gets dropped. I don't know. This is another reason why randomizing the map or updating the map or doing different things in the Elden Ring world, open world, or the Elden Ring map itself, could be really good. Elden Ring, but with AK-47s? No, I'm not talking about that. Main quality of life improvement, unlimited respecking. Hate having to go collect larval tears. Maybe after you hit a specific level, they become unlimited. I could just see maybe letting you have unlimited respec once you're not on your first playthrough. I mean, that'd be pretty easy. If I know From Software, then some from of completely broken dark magic that can't be defended by any armor type will be introduced in the DLC. The issue with that is it's so hard to get back to a neutral state. Mick D09 says, I'm not super tech savvy, but how much work would a randomizer take the FromSoft crew to develop for consoles? Well, the mod exists on PC. So I'm sure they could just go and, reverse engineer it a little bit. Just think about it. I wouldn't want an Elden Ring randomizer. I would not want that to be how they handle the mainstay story bosses. You would still want Melania and Margot and all those people to be in their positions. But how fun would it be? Open world, there's a different boss, there's a different enemy, there's a different something in some area. You go into these dungeons that are really, really familiar, and the enemies are different, and the boss is different. Now I don't think you could randomize the geometry or the space of dungeons, or randomize or change the geometry of the space of the world, like the topography and stuff. But you could certainly randomize where enemies show up. Right? You could certainly do that. Chat has we gotta get this going. We gotta get this going. We gotta get a conversation piece going. Let me think. I'm thinking of a question. I gotta spark you guys. I gotta shock paddle the chat. I'm super excited for Wolong. Keep me busy. Yeah, we're getting off on other subjects really, really early in the show. The Demon Souls Dark and Light world thing can be annoying if you get stuck on the harder mode. It's difficult to get back to the light mode if all bosses are killed. Yeah, I was more thinking about this, SDO. Like, if people are jumping in and playing, and they're telling you that, like, during this week, this certain area of the world is going to be overpopulated, right? And then you need to go fight all these things and go do all these things. And if you do it, if the community does it to a certain degree, it would change something in the game. I've watched plenty of Elden Ring randomizer runs, and some bosses end up in terrible bosses. I think maybe you meant to say in terrible places. Right, you would have to set parameters. You'd have to set parameters, because I think I saw a thumbnail for Asmongold, and like the fire giant was in like the opening area or something, and I'm like, what the frick? Like, yeah, you'd have to be careful, because you can't have certain people showing up in certain places. It wouldn't work. You go down into like a traditional dungeon, and you're in one of the rooms that's built, you know, they're all roughly the same size, and typically there's like a cat or two in there, and all of a sudden, you know, Haraloo's in there. Like, that wouldn't work. You can't do that. They'd have to keep things within certain parameters. That would be my suggestion. Never having played Elden Ring, can you explain to me why a randomizer would change how it is currently? That's a good question, Goddess. So basically the way that it works now is the first time you play the game, the open world is just this mysterious, every nook and cranny could have a dungeon or a cave or a weapon. But everything is static. All items are static. All enemies, all bosses are static. Now, static within reason, right? Some of the enemies roam an area, so they might maybe be by a tree the first time you find them, and the next time they're over here by the lake, because they're kind of walking back and forth. But in general, everything's statically placed. So your first, second, third, and 18th playthrough, static meaning it's always there. So when you find this dungeon next to this rock, in your 8th playthrough, same enemies, same loot, same everything is in that dungeon. Everything is exactly the same. If you open up the secret chest in this dungeon by this rock, you're going to get the same thing every single time. And I'm saying randomize all that. Randomize where the loot shows up. Randomize what enemies are in the dungeon. Randomize what boss is down there. Caves. I think the best place for this to take place would be the caves, the dungeons, and the open world. Now, you'd have to, again, work within parameters, because you can't go down into a cave, and instead of it being one of those big troll guys that's, like, covered in rocks, all of a sudden, it's a dragon that, like, doesn't fit in the room. So, you know, you'd have to have parameters to make sure that it works well, basically, is how I would set it up. It would definitely make New Game Plus more interesting. That's literally what I want. Like, if I could just press a button and be like, yes, my Elden Ring open world experience is going to be fresh. It'll be surprising, right? I think that the main story of the DLC mixed with new dungeons and armors and spells. Yeah, I almost made that tree my thumbnail today, but I was worried nobody would click, because I think people are looking, they automatically see the image, and like, oh, that guy's talking about the Elden Ring DLC, and then the, 5 things I want, I was like, that's going to get more people's attention than the tree. I was worried if I use the tree, people's eyes would, like, glance past it and be like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that video is about. That was my hope, is that people would see the focal point image being her and being like, oh, that's awesome. Like, he's talking about the DLC or whatever. I was going to kind of experiment, and if we weren't having a great stream, I was going to swap the thumbnail, because I do have the other one available. But again, I was worried that people would be like, I don't know what that is, because the tree in the thumbnail is kind of hard to recognize. Ula Tech with a $2 tip says, you tried Neo 2, combat better than Sekiro in my opinion. Kind of answered my question. Yeah, I just don't think I'm gonna like Neo games. I don't think I'm gonna like them. Like like I said, I played Wolong for about an hour and I was like, I don't like this, right? JC says, I personally didn't like Elden Ring or any Souls games, but hope I change my mind about it later. I definitely think they are games that they're hard to love, but once you love them, it's weird, right? They're honestly hard games to love, but once they convert you, it can make other games seem kind of bland. It's true. I remember going from like Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro and Jedi Fallen Order and like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, and then if I go into like a basic melee game, I'm like, it's freaking boring. I'm like, this is dumb. You know? I honestly play casual melee games worse now because I just get greedy. I don't respect the game. I'm like, I can just beat the snot out of you. I can just button mash my way through. You know what I mean? Like how in Destiny where they had world events just drop. I kind of like shared world events where like if everybody does it, you know what I mean? Could you imagine in the dungeon creatures came out at certain times of night? Oh, like time of day stuff could be pretty cool, yeah. Yeah. I played a little Fallen Order and I love that for sure. If you love Fallen Order, then Souls games have some of those elements. Yeah, if you were to play Fallen Order and bump the difficulty up, you might actually have an inroad to enjoying Sekiro, and then Dark Souls 3, and then Elden Ring. Yeah. You focusing on Mikola in the thumb works better. Okay, let's talk about this art. We got to debate this art for just a second. That's a woman in the thumb. That's not a dude. Right? I'm not trying to do that thing where, like, I presume that, like, well, long hair, that it's not. Youth, it's a kid. You think, let me pull up my history, because I found a very, very high-res version of that image. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I got a huge version of it. Here we go. Hang on. Let me zoom in. They're even sitting like a woman sits on a mount. They're sitting crossed. Like, hang on. I might be able. No. Yeah. I'll keep this one and then I'll drag it over. There we go. This will work. She's literally sitting with two legs on one side. It's a dude, gotta think more medieval, high society fashion. Wearing a dress with two legs to the left and an armband? Just because the braid's the same? Yeah, I'll grant you that the braid is the same, Barrier. I will. But that's a chick, man. Michaela is my non-gender conforming king. Don't judge him. That is a woman. Look at the way the feet are pointed down. That is a very feminine way of sitting. Now, I'm not saying a man can't sit that way, but they are evoking classic feminine horse riding. That's what it looks like. A dress, their feet are daintily sort of pointing down. There's a delicacy to the way the feet are. Look at the armband. That's very feminine garb. The 3/4 sleeve, that's very feminine garb. I don't think we can just look at the braid. Marika and Radagon are the same person? Has to be Marika? See my past messages. What's Chris saying? Mikola also has a female version? Wait. Or it's his other form, Saint Trina, who is a woman. Alright, listen. I'll grant you that. Yeah, it could be that he's taken on the form of a woman. We don't need to get into a big debate about all of that. I'm not trying to have some freaking cultural discussion with you, but this image, you are supposed to look at this image and conclude that that is a woman sitting on that mount. And in this game, maybe he's just taking, maybe Mikola, or however you're supposed to say it, Mikola is taking the form of a woman. A lot of lore channels are working from the Saint Trina aspect of Mikola. Oh, the gender swapping thing is a thing in video games. I mean, freaking Oryx and Destiny did that. I mean, in Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs do that. That's not that. It's don't make it more than what it is. They're sat sideways. That's how women used to ride horses. Yeah, I already said that, Quiet Shy. The way that she's sitting, the way that her feet are pointed down, it's very effeminate, right? Even the slight silhouette of the nose, has like a very feminine look. Now, I agree with Barrier. It is the exact same braid from a picture of Mikola. It is. It's an exact same braid. It's a 1-to-1 match. So again, this could be, right? My dude's pronunciation of Marika and Radagon killed me. I have no idea how to pronounce the names in this dadgum game, dude. I have no idea. You personally believe it's... What is it? Is it Marika? That's Marika. Is this not a girl? Well, the debate is that people say it's Mikola, and Mikola's a dude, but I guess Mikola can also take on the form of a woman. Mikola's cursed to have a child body forever, but in the cut content, we can see he took the form of Saint Trina. We can also hear audio. It's Christopher Judge. America. America and Radagon. I can't remember how to spell. I remember how to say Radagon, and I can't remember how to say it now. I think it's Michaela. Michaela. It's so hard. They pick names that could be pronounced like 8 different ways. Like, look at the way Mikola's spelled. It's like, how the frick are you supposed to say that? Radagon. 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 I frickin' can't do it. Radagon. 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 Is that it? Which one do I emphasize? Radagon. 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 I freaking hate the names in Elden Ring. Radagon. Okay. Like Radagast, but Radagon. Okay. I hate it because you guys will do this. Like, full transparency. We will freaking do this, and then in a month, if I have to say it again, I won't remember. Radagon. Radagon. Radagast. Radagon. I won't remember in a month. I won't remember in a month. I'll mispronounce it again. We're truly wasting our time. Yeah, tinnitus. Yeah, facts. Can't we just get Chris? Yeah, what's wrong with Dave or Michelle? That's what I'm saying, right? Why can't you just have me fight Michael and, Susan? The mighty Susan of the underworld or some... Come on. Can that just be Karen? Can this just be Karen, please? All these frickin' names. Randy, the Dark One. Oh, you wicked little ones. You weren't ready for Randy. Randy the Damned. All right, Randy. Richard. Yeah, I want Richard. That's right. Yeah. Apparently, children were taught to ride saddle back then, not just women, as per quick Google search. Radagon. 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 Yeah. Taserface. Yeah, it's metaphorical. Metaphorical for what? Your name's Taserface? Your name's Radagon? Your name's Mikola? Yeah, Ratatouille. Joe, the emblazoned gatekeeper. Yeah. You had Margot. That never got confusing. Yeah, Margit and Margot. That's great. That was great. Yeah. Just give me Carolyn and Caroline as well. You know what I mean? It's Lono, not Lano. Let's see that. Yeah, it's the same thing. Radon equals Andy. Yeah. Wasn't it popular not long ago to dress and socialize all children like girls? Well, I don't. Not long ago? What are you even talking about? That's a woman on the horse. If there are lore possibilities for Mikola to be in the form of a woman, then that, okay, fine. That's Saint Trina. Trina is like short for Katrina. So we have Saint Katrina sitting here. Margit and Margot confuse me, and I hate it. I always remember that Margit's first because I always thought that was funny. Like, you're literally fighting somebody whose name is like Margit, like almost like Margaret. That always made me laugh. So I always remember that Margit's first, and then Margot's like up in that one room. Yeah, Lono or Loney. That's right. I called him Margaret instead of Margit. Yeah, Margaret. It almost sounds like Margaret. You're like, wait, Margaret? Is this person's name? Is that what's going to happen here? You know, Margaret. Marguerite. This was supposed to be a feast. I believe a man transformed into a woman. It's not a woman. Oh, is there anything that being a furry has taught me? It's this. With looks, anything can and will look like anything else. That's right. I was so confused fighting him 3 times. I wish there was in-game lore that would explain why they're so similar. Well, Margit and Margot are brothers, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they're brothers. I never cleared the castle in Elden Ring. It's Melania. It's Melania. No. Melania, and Michaela. A frickin' frick. Forget it. Yeah, Ed, and Eddie. Golly. This is my cousin Daryl. It's my brother Daryl. It's my other brother Daryl. Yeah, anybody who's old enough to remember Newhart. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. This is Margit. This is Margot. That's Margaret. That's Marguerite. And that's Midge. Yeah, Midge is special. You just go down the line, and Midge is like down there on the corner, you know, picking his nose and he's cross-eyed, and you're like, yeah, he's all right. Go easy on him. Oh, Margot and Moog are brothers. I thought your brother was Derek and your other brother was Derek. No, that would be weird. If I was the only one not named Derek, yeah, that'd be awkward. I forgot to say this, creature. Are we going to do... I thought we would do what we had been doing, which is live upload members. Live? Are we just going to do the upload at the end of the day? I didn't even think. We pivoted to that method a couple of times, and I really liked it, and we're going to have to pull the ripcord very fast here. Y'all need some Hooked on Phonics? What do you mean hooked on phonics? Like these are normal names moving I's and A's around, and I'm supposed to know which vowel pronunciation. There's no phonetics to figure out how to pronounce Dropbox is empty. No, it's not. No, it is not. You sent me nothing. No, false. It's sitting there right now. Final Fantasy 16 preview info. Dune Awakening new details. Uploaded last night at 10 o'clock. Go and hit there. Go and hit refresh. Go and hit refresh. Oh, great. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I was up super late last night making videos. That feels wonderful. So tired this morning because I had to go so late to get all that done last night, and Dropbox didn't ping you. That's phenomenal. So we have Cyberpunk expansion, Elden Ring expansion, and Diablo 4 this year. Pretty awesome. Tired? Reforge Roast has your back. Yeah, I don't know what Dropbox did. Hit refresh. I just checked it. I just double checked it. Everything's in there. I deleted 2 videos that were old. There are 4 videos in there. You clearly are having some kind of a glitch because there's older videos in there. The Zelda Tears of the Kingdom short is still in there, and Diablo 4 Inside Sanctuary is still in there. Your Dropbox is glitched, brother. I didn't delete those. It's not showing you anything. Something's wrong. You have 1,000 times? It's something on your end or Dropbox's end, because I didn't even delete. You're literally looking at an empty folder. There are videos in there that are days old and that you can't see, so something is wrong. Super late? If I'm in my office recording videos at 10 o'clock at night, that's super late. Yeah, I don't like working that late. I would like to shut down, go have dinner, and not do anything else. I had to come in the office last night and type up my monologues for 2 shows today. That took forever because both the Elden Ring stuff, but the Final Fantasy stuff is what took so long. That's our second show of the day. Go to the web version and see what's going on. Yeah, something's off because it's like you're almost not even looking in the folder. It's weird. Yeah, my second stream of the day is Final Fantasy 16. That's what took me so long last night. It was like the biggest info dump I think I've ever seen. I was like, what in the frick is going on? Just go talk to the Turtle Pope again? I don't know what you mean. Don't forget George, the Dragon Master. George is scattered across the land. Speaking of Fury, just joined the stream. Why? That's not even an advertisement, is it? Is that an advertisement? Or is that somebody else's suggested like post? Am I correct that the only info we have from software is the image? The image and the name, yeah. Tree in the background is the Halig tree. Oh, I thought it was the Erdtree. My bad. New equipment and new locations is what I want in the Elden Ring DLC. Nice. Mother. Okay, I see what's happening here. I'm done with these clowns. What did Dropbox do? We haven't had any issues before. I mean, I'm not on the end of having to download. I've never had any issues uploading. What'd they do? I'm locked out because of space usage? You've tried to explain it to me 18 different times. I don't understand. Why do you get locked out of a folder on my stuff? What space usage? Space usage that you use or space usage that I use? I still can't understand why that happens. Because I got upgraded a long time ago. Dropbox upgraded me to some crazy amount that I don't think I'll ever fill. Because I barely use it. This has happened before. And I'm like, did I do something? Or is it because if you do too much? Somebody's saying they can't stand Spider-Man. Are you stuck on the Mary Jane missions? He explains the whole androgynous genders changing situation. Go talk to the Turtle Pope again. Oh, in the game. You're saying there's a guy in the game that explains that lore element. Got it. Lono can't read. Fury, furry. I don't want to say the real word. I don't want that word in my closed captions. You have 2 gig. It is used so shared accounts can't see the contents. Not a big deal. But we haven't even uploaded that much this week. That's why I don't understand. You've explained this to me before. I get no alerts. They don't say anything to me. I haven't done anything this week. I haven't done anything. Like, we haven't been doing uploads. I don't understand. So I uploaded 2 videos and we somehow hit a limit. That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't have any alerts from them at all. All they're telling me is I can extend my version history and life recovery. That's the only alert I have up at the top. That doesn't make any sense. You're on this stuff late tomorrow. I'm not trying to get you to understand something I don't understand. That's what I mean. Why does it tell you and not me? That's what doesn't make any sense. Why would it tell you something about my Dropbox account? That makes zero sense. Like, I have a 2 gig limit. A 2 gig limit on what? On uploads and downloads? Yeah, I'll switch to Google storage. This is infuriating. It's not 2 gig per folder. It's 2 gig per account. All your ceasefire stuff. I don't upload any. That's what I'm trying to tell you, creature. I don't do anything. We've had this conversation before. I don't do anything. I don't upload anything to Dropbox. I upload little 4-minute videos for you. That's all I do. None of the ceasefire stuff hits Dropbox. The only thing from ceasefire that hits Dropbox are shorts. Yeah, we got to get out of this because I don't know what it is. I promise you it's not me. It's a miscommunication on Dropbox's part. They're misreading something and telling you we've hit a limit that we haven't hit. It's got to be an error or something because I don't upload anything to the dadgum Dropbox. I don't. So they're doing something to your account based on something that's in error because I literally don't upload anything. What's happening? I'm just irritated. I stayed up late last night making videos. I wouldn't have done it if they weren't going to go live today, and Dropbox didn't let him see the videos. It's just frustrating. I had a late night, and I forced it because I thought we want to get these things out tomorrow, and now they're not going to go out, and I'm angry. It's like the 4th time it's happened, and he's like, you hit your limit. And I'm like, how do I hit my limit uploading 2 videos? That doesn't make any sense. It's like it doesn't let him see the Dropbox folder because I hit a limit. It never tells me I hit a limit. I didn't hit the limit, but it somehow limits him. And it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't, it like, you can't make sense of it. Like, I uploaded 2 videos, a 10-minute video and a 4-minute video. That's it. And he's like, yeah, I can't see it. You hit your limit. And I'm like, but what? What limit? There's no alert. There's no message. It doesn't tell me I've done anything. The memory restriction is trash. Yeah, we'll just switch to something else because I can't. No. You hit the limit and I hit the limit. It makes no sense. Your account is out of storage. Okay, that's not me. Dropbox family is a place for everyone to share everything, centralized and secure. 2 gig of cloud storage, right? So it's telling you that your account is out of storage. They want me to pay them to see the folder. Okay, now it makes sense. You are at storage capacity, not me. I don't have a Dropbox account. What? Then how is it telling you your account is its capacity? I don't understand at all. That doesn't make an ounce of sense. And if I click view upgrade options, yeah, it's not even describing to you the plan that I have. I don't have 2 gig of storage. I have 2,000 gig of storage currently. I don't even have the plan that they're showing you. I'm a shared user. Doghouse gave my company so many issues. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what am I paying for? You can hit the limit fast with the recycling bin. I'm not at my limit. I just checked. I clicked on upgrade options up in the corner. That's so freaking frustrating. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds, chat. We're just gonna go to Final Fantasy, and then we'll do members after. I'm not doing members in between. Zero confidence right now in what we're about to try. I don't think we can afford to do the members hammock. I don't mind doing it when we have an upload, but when we don't have the upload, I don't want to do it. It's XVI, right? It's XVI. Okay. Gaming. We did what we came to do with this topic. We were running out of things to say anyway. we were just running in a circle. We were just running in a circle anyway. So we can do an hour or two with Final Fantasy. No more Hogwarts. Well, today's a double talk show. I didn't say no more. I didn't say I wasn't going to do any more Hogwarts. Today's double talk show. There's too much going on. There's too much going on to not cover all this stuff. I had 4 potential shows on the board last night. I was like, we got to cover all this, and I'm not going to space it out. That would bleed in the next week. Okay. Let me set up redirect. I mean, this was a great stream. I was getting ready to send you guys to an upload, and then, like, we don't have the upload. So I'm like, what? Like, I stayed up so late last night. I don't like recording videos at 9:30. You know, that's usually when I'm putting my kids to bed. So my blood started to boil a little bit. I was like, why in the frick did I disrupt my entire evening? Thanks, Dropbox. You played Atomic Heart, is it worth playing? I don't think so. I thought it looked like a perfect Game Pass game. One that's not worth $70. Who's got... Here we go. And people be uploading weird perspective videos. I guess that's fine. Wouldn't it be easier to make one Dropbox account and both use the same email and password? No, the whole point is that I have mine, and I put it in there, he logs in and grabs it. I had no idea that that's what was happening. He tried to explain it to me in the past, and it didn't make any sense to me. He's like, oh, you've hit your limit. So I was always going in and deleting files. It's like, oh, I hit my limit. I wasn't hitting my limit. The last time we discussed this, I completely misunderstood. I thought, oh, I'm hitting my limit. I need to make sure and not leave a bunch of files in there. And that's not what it is at all. The issue is that he doesn't even have an account. That's the issue. I never heard that. Maybe I wasn't listening. Sometimes when we're on the phone, he's on speaker and I'm doing stuff and he's doing stuff and I'm typing, and I must not have heard him say, I don't have an account. This still doesn't make sense. Well, I mean, it's just reading your IP, and it wants you to become a customer, is my guess. It's just reading your IP and saying, hey, you need to become a customer if you're going to keep using our service. That's how I understand it. Like, they're trying to convert you. They see you logging in and using it, and they're like, hey, this guy's not paying any money. Which doesn't make any sense, because I'm paying the money and you're just going in and grabbing files from me. Maybe there's loopholes that people use and that's why they're doing this. I don't know. Okay, let's just do this. All right, we're going to switch streams. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Redirect doesn't always work. I'm going to gift the members when we're done with the second stream. So we're going to do one more stream about Final Fantasy, okay? If you're watching on the Tickety Talk, you're going to have to come over to YouTube. I'm not going to set up another stream for this. So use the link in my profile and come watch live on YouTube, or just go look for Reforge Gaming. If you guys traditionally aren't having good luck with redirect, then what you can do is I will put a link in chat and you can click that link. We're going to go discuss the top 6 reasons why I am now very interested, why I will be playing Final Fantasy 16, right? So this should be another really, really good stream. I have way more notes on this. There was way more information dropped for this than what we had to talk about with Elden Ring, okay? So click the link in chat. Listen, I don't want to hear a bunch of belly aching about redirect didn't work. Then click the frickin' link in chat, all right? Stop relying on redirect if it's not working. I'm tired of seeing people saying, well, that's the 7th day in a row redirect hasn't worked. I put the link in chat. Click the link in chat. Starting out the stream with a litany of complaints about redirect. We make it very easy. There's a link in the Discord. There's a link in the chat. It's a pinned video on the channel. So quit belly aching about redirect. Use the link in chat. I don't know why redirect's acting bad again. It usually is good, and then it stopped working well. All right? All right. Let's start this next conversation. Oh, and we're going to need a bunch of likes. We're going to need a ton of likes. Second talk show is really, really tough. So when you get over there, smash the heck out of the like button, okay? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is going to be my top 6 reasons why I will be playing Final Fantasy 16. And I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. There was a huge amount of info and drop that came out about Final Fantasy 16 because the hands-on previews have dropped. There's interviews, there's tons of videos, there's tons of info. I'm going to break it down into 6 bullet points of all the things that I saw that I thought were really important. And I'm going to put it at the beginning of this video so you don't have to go searching for it. Make sure and smash the like button to help the video find more people, and hit subscribe if you want to be here for the conversations. I am going to end the previous stream that was about the Elden Ring DLC, and I'm going to bring people over from that.